All right, welcome back to Breakfast Television. And Dr. Zach Levine, one of our favorites here, emergency room doctor at the MUHC. You make a TV show about your life. You're so cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I love when you come on the show. Big,
Thanks.
important subject for the holidays, and that has to do with alcohol consumption. You know, we want to be merry, we want to be jolly, we want to be happy. A lot of people put that two and two together like, well, I got to have a drink in order for that to happen. So let's talk about alcohol consumption over the holidays, Dr. Zach. First off, you look at the ER over the holidays.
Yep.
What happens at the ER when it comes to alcohol consumption?
Well, not just over the holidays, but more over the holidays, is that we have a very biased sample, right? I mean, the people who end up coming to the ER are not like the people who have one or two drinks and take a cab home. You know, they're the people who drink a ton and then pass out, right? Or even worse, you know, they injure themselves, or they get in fights, or they get in car accidents, or they, you know, aspirate, which means they like inhale some of their vomit or some food, and then they get a pneumonia. So it's a biased sample. You know, it's not what most holiday drinkers do, but it certainly serves as a warning. You know, as what can happen if you drink too much.
Medically speaking, what do you define as problem drinking? Where do you see, okay, this person has a problem?
The definition, the medical definition is, so number one, binge drinking is not healthy, but that tends to be what happens, right? Most of us don't drink that much during the year, and then the holidays come around and we drink a lot more. So binge drinking is for men about 5 drinks in a 2-hour period, and for women about 4 drinks in a 2-hour period. Now, it depends a lot on your size, it depends a lot on your tolerance, that sort of thing. And then the other thing is, over the week, the limit for sort of moderate drinking to problem drinking is an average of 14 drinks a week for a man, or just 7 drinks a week for a woman. So if you're a woman and you're having more than an average of 1 drink a day, then it's considered potentially more than just sort of mild to moderate drinking.
Now, you know, if I'm going to stereotype this, just think what I think would be the problem. You tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I would say for younger people, it'd be the binge drinking on a certain day. Whereas maybe as the population ages, older people, it's more of the total drinks during week that could be a problem. Am I right here? What's your thoughts on that?
I think generally, yes. I mean, definitely the people that we tend to see are the ones who are binge drinking, and it tends to be younger, and it tends to be like Frosh Week, and it tends to be like Halloween, that sort of thing. But occasionally it's older people who just have bad luck. You have a few drinks and you trip and you bang your head, that sort of thing. We definitely see that too. People get injured. Alcohol, you know, it's associated with a lot of violence of alcohol.
And what is your take, you know, when we talk about legal limits? You know, we talk about people that, you know, they say they can go out, have a few drinks because they know they're under the legal limit.
Yeah.
But regardless of legal limits, right, there's still ways this affects the body.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is, if you're drinking at all, is not to drive. Is not to operate heavy machinery, not to take anyone else's life in your hands, you know. The legal limit is 0.08, which is around, again, it depends on the person, but around 4 drinks for a man, about 2.5 drinks for a woman. But the problem is, even less than that.
Over the course of an evening, you'd say?
That's over the course of a couple hours.
A couple hours, okay.
And also, it depends on if you're eating as well. Like, if you eat and if you drink other, like, non-alcoholic things, it decreases the rate of absorption. But the problem is, even if you have less than that, your driving is affected. And so that's why there's zero tolerance for drinking, drinking and driving for young people until something like the age of 21. They can't have any alcohol in them. And honestly, that's a better way to go. You know, if you're going to be drinking at all, I think it's better just not to drive at all.
Flip side of this, and it's always a story that makes it to headlines, to the media, because it's a good story. You have these studies that come out. The new study says having 4 glasses of wine a day is perfect for your heart. So give me the take on if there is, you know, the positive that come out of having a glass of wine, or that during your daily routine.
So that's it. It was a few years ago, those studies came out, and especially in France, and especially with red wine, that mild to moderate drinking can protect you somewhat from heart attacks and even ischemic strokes. So everyone loved that, right? Yeah. They're like, wow, alcohol is good for me. The problem is, you know, overall drinking is not good for you. So I would never recommend to someone who does not drink to pick up drinking for the health benefits of it, because overall, you know, mostly, well, actually, both for the heart and for the brain and for the rest of the body, moderate to a lot of drinking, heavy drinking, is definitely bad for you. So if you drink moderately, you know, it's okay if you have a drink with dinner, especially red wine. That's the one that's been studied the most.
Yeah.
It can be helpful, but I would never tell anyone to drink just for the health reasons. Yeah.
What's some common sense advice for the holidays and drinking?
So number one is, don't drink and drive, obviously. Drink in moderation. If you're drinking, ideally, you know, 1 in 4 adults doesn't drink at all. for different reasons. You know, not everyone who doesn't drink, by the way, is like a former alcoholic or is pregnant or whatever. Some people just don't drink.
It's important to let people who don't want to drink, let them not drink. And,
Exactly.
and ask them that question. I hate that question. Well, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking, right? It's not something you want.
Yeah, and they can still have fun without drinking. And also, it can be great if you are drinking that you have someone with you who's not drinking who can be safe, right?
That's right.
The other thing is, eat. If you eat with the alcohol, you absorb more slowly. Stay hydrated. And don't get yourself, think before, don't get yourself into dangerous situations. And just sort of common sense things, you know. If you're very drunk, then don't obviously get behind a wheel, but also don't get behind the wheel, or don't get into a car with someone who has had some drinks.
Another big thing as well. Dr. Zach, eat, drink, be merry, but also be safe. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Zach Levine from the MUHC. Stay tuned to Breakfast Television. Our 12 days of giveaways continue in the next half hour.